thank you for just bearing with us through these very, very difficult times. This is kind of what we do when times get rough, and for us, times are a little rough. Um, Let me just kind of tell you the situation um, as I see it, and then we'll answer any questions that you might have. Um, we are living in times unlike any that we've ever seen um, in our lifetime, certainly, and certainly among the most difficult that the world has ever faced. And this is for a variety of reasons. In Savannah, we know hurricanes. We know what hurricanes do. We prepare for hurricanes. We train for hurricanes. We know when they're coming. They have a projected time and a strength, time of arrival, time of departure, how long it's going to be with us, what the anticipated effects it'll be. We either hunker down or we'll evacuate and wait till the coast is clear, and then we'll come back. Um, Jobs are preserved, and people can go back and live their lives. In this case, there's nowhere to run to. We are living in times where we have um, not only current issues, but issues that will project far, far into our future. And it's amazing to sit and just watch some of this unfold. Um, and for us, it's difficult because for humans, we just can't grasp it. It's something we can't put our arms around. And I've said before, I just think every now and then God kind of does a reset to kind of help get us focused on the things we need to get focused on. For us, sometimes we become so divided and so divisive and so partisan, not only on parties, but just partisan in life, and that we something has to happen to bring us back together, to kind of refocus us. And that's where we are. This is where you have people with means that are suffering and people who don't have means that will suffer. And it is just an amazing thing for us. So, we're here in the midst of what is known as COVID-19, coronavirus 2019. Coronavirus is a large family of viruses that infect mainly animals, but COVID-19 is the new one discovered in December in Wuhan, China. And so it's been out there for a minute. Coronaviruses include a variety of things that can include the common cold, as well as SARS and MERS. As I understand it, most COVID-19 infections are mild. Severe pneumonia and even death can occur. The natural host for many coronaviruses are bats, but this is evolving because even the most talented scientists among us still don't know much about this particular version of the human coronavirus. And so globally, over 200,000 cases, over 100 countries, over 8,000 deaths. In the US, over 7,200 cases and over 117 deaths as well. And in Georgia, we're quickly either approaching or at 200 cases and 3 deaths here in our country. And so we've watched this medical health tsunami traverse from across the world, and now is here in your backyard, is here on your doorstep. COVID-19 respiratory secretions are the main mode of transmission. They spread through the respiratory droplets in the air, and they transmit from people before the onset of symptoms or without symptoms. But the combination of these infections seem to be small. And so, again, there are some things that they understand and they know about that. There are no particular signs on symptoms that um, can be discriminated as it relates to COVID-19. But it often seems like a cold, or it could seem like a flu, and then it goes on. We're told the incubation period for COVID-19 is about 5 days, although the range is from 2 to 14 days. What does that tell us? That means that if somebody was affected yesterday, that it could be 2 weeks from now before they have the symptoms of it. And that is why it's so important. People feel well now, they're doing well now, and you could already be infected. In that time period, you're also possibly infecting other people. And that is where this becomes so dangerous. So they say 80% of the people have mild illnesses. Some have fevers, coughs, fatigue. 30% require hospitalization, um, including intensive care. And there's no approved medication at this point for the COVID-19. So all of that being said, for us, Savannah particularly has been blessed in that we're not facing some of the issues that other cities across the country are facing, other states around the city, across the country are facing. When you look at states like New York and states like California, countries around the world that are facing just widespread infection, you know that in spite of what we're going through here, we're still quite blessed. We know that testing for COVID-19 has been somewhat difficult. It can be done publicly as we're starting to roll it out here, but it's also been done in commercial labs as well. So, and it takes some time to be able to do it. So they don't know how this is transmitted exactly. They don't know what the optimal personal protective equipment is, how long the pandemic will last, what the most effective treatments are, and when the vaccine will be available. So for us here in Savannah, we had our first confirmed case. We knew it was coming. We knew it was just a matter of time. We don't know much about the case here in Chatham County. We know that the person is isolated and is at home, and we certainly pray for their recovery. And since we don't know who it is, I mean, it could be any of us, all of us, many of us that can be already infected, which is why we cannot take this whole thing about the social distancing. We have to take it seriously. These are going to be rough times in your own home. They should be in your own home as best we can. For us here in Savannah, we want to act, but we don't want to overreact. We want to take it seriously, but we don't want to instill panic. We don't want people to overreact to the point of pandemonium. We want people to understand what we're going through. We want them to get the best information, take the best advice, and do the best things for themselves and their families. And I'll assure you that the Savannah City Council, myself, city staff, for our part, have been doing the best we can with the information we have to make the best decision for the residents that we serve. Then, there are some things that can happen better on a federal level. And it has not happened as quickly as I think most of us would like. There are things that can happen or should happen on a state level to help. If we have one set of rules, everybody knows what the rules are, that's fine. The federal government has left it to states, states have left it to local governments, hence why I declared an emergency declaration on yesterday that starts at 8 o'clock tonight. And I want to be very, very clear. I want to be extremely clear because I know that although illegal tonight, it will be illegal tomorrow. That some folks in our community are deciding to have the turn 'em up parties tonight. The whole, we're going to party till the end. Um, you know, Businesses can do that if they want to. For you and for you to parents and grandparents and loved ones, um, you know, we do not want you to turn up for the petri dish of coronavirus. What we're trying to avoid exactly are those types of gatherings of a lot of people in confined spaces. I mean, that is the issue. So, even for those of you young folks, hey, we're going to go have a good time tonight. Don't do us a favor. Don't. Even if you don't necessarily care about you, the reality is that you can go and get infected, come home and infect someone that you love. You can infect your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, your children. So maybe you just need to sit this one out. Look at it on social media and try to figure out, um, how it went. Find out from your friends that went. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock a.m., we're going to help do some social distancing, and that involves a variety of things that was contained in the declaration of the local emergency that was signed on yesterday. That includes uh, that all bars and nightclubs which don't serve food should be closed. Um, that all gyms and fitness centers, movie theaters, live performance venues, bowling alleys, and arcades shall be closed. That we're asking restaurants and other eating establishments where food is served to reduce their capacity by 50% for dine-in services. And we want them to continue to offer food via delivery service, drive-through, or takeout. And we've exempted cafeterias in hospitals, nursing homes, hospice centers, and similar facilities. We've asked our funeral homes um, that we know that a pretty close personal case of a funeral home where a whole bunch of people, well, funeral service where a whole bunch of people got infected. So we know that some religious observances require burial rather quickly, but we're asking for funerals to be held either postponed or graveside services only with a very limited amount of mourners. We're sorry about the loved one has passed. We don't want you to join them. And so it's very important because in those close spaces where people are hugging and they're are consoling each other, that's a prime opportunity for this virus to spread. Um, Also, we've had conversations with pastors, ministers, rabbis, imams, temple leaders about services this weekend and going forward. It does not make sense to be able to congregate a lot of people in one space. And so we have some of our clergies and religious community that are doing some awesome things as it relates to social distancing, digital platforms, remote services, and we really want you to encourage you to do that. And you know what? If you don't go to service this Sunday or this Saturday, or go to you know the temple or whatever it is, I really believe God will understand. I really believe it. Um, we just have to be able to keep people away from each other until we get a handle on this thing. Um, we effective tomorrow, all sightseeing, guided and public and narrated tours will cease in the city of Savannah, and that we have extended parking to be free for 1 hour, and that is really to accommodate the whole takeout thing, have people long enough to park, get your food, and go. Um, the issue and the challenge with this is that we're still also trying to maintain an economy. People are going to suffer. People are going to be laid off, and we recognize that. And here locally, people have already been laid off. So what we can do or try to do to keep people working as long as possible, we really want to be able to do that and allow businesses to make their own decisions. Now, obviously, if it appears that this is not working out, that people are not adhering to the guidelines, then we'll have to get to a much more stringent approach. And that could include a variety of things. So, that's where we are for those of you that are joining. And we've been doing our best to push out information. And so I'm asking you like this page, Mayor Van Johnson, if you would please go ahead and like the page. And then also the city of Savannah has a variety of things on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, just like I do. And like that page too. We want you to get the most updated information. There are a lot of rumors out there. There are a lot of lies out there. There are a lot of scams out there. And we want to make sure that you get the best and greatest information as we know it, as soon as we know it, and we're able to share it. So please like my page, Mayor Johnson, Mayor Van Johnson, SAB, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Like the city of Savannah on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And again, we've been working hard to make sure we push out as much information as we can. If you have other questions, we have extended our 311 service in the city of Savannah. If you live in the city of Savannah and you have a question, you can call 311, and we've extended those hours, I believe, till 10 o'clock at night. I'll check that to make sure so that people are able to get the best information as we know it and ask questions. And again, this is for folks that live in the city of Savannah. So I didn't want to be very, very long, but we don't know where this is going to go. I will tell you that people were saying shut it down, shut it down. I mean, shut it down is not necessarily, in my opinion, the answer at this point. Again, we have to have an economy. People still need things, and what's essential to you may not be essential to somebody else. So we want to make sure that we're able to get the things that we need. Oh, and please, I've gotten good information that there's food out there. There's food out there. There's toilet paper out there. Please, people need toilet paper. Let them have the toilet paper. There is not going to be an apocalypse where there's some shortage of toilet paper. And so please, I don't know what those are hoarding behaviors, and that's behaviors that people do when they're in panic. And so we don't want you to be in panic. Take what you need for yourself, be a good neighbor, and leave stuff for somebody else. We don't have an issue about food supply in this community or across the country, and you buying up all the stuff really just going to make life harder for somebody else. So please help us in doing that. And we would really, really appreciate it. And also, again, we have older neighbors and folks that are in their 60s and above, and we want you to check on them. You may not be able to do it physically, but there's nothing stopping you from calling them or sending them a message, making sure that they're okay. These are the times in which we are and we become, and it defines us as our brother and our sister's keeper. So we want you to be able to do that. Starting on Monday, our partners, the Savannah Chatham Public School System, will start delivering to 12 sites throughout Savannah Chatham County. And we've posted those sites on my page. So please take the opportunity to see where those deliveries will occur in our community. We thank them for doing it. We know for young people that school is where a lot of them get a chance to eat. We know that's the truth. And we know for many parents, the parents that I know, your kids are home, they're eating you at a house and home right now. They're just eating. And it's a blessing to open up the refrigerator and just eat whatever is there. But we all know, again, what we can do to help in those cases, we'll try to do. Also, Chatham Area Transit has, at this point, it's still running normal services at this time. So if you need to go from here to there, CAT is still a very accessible option for people to move from where they're going. I know there'll probably be a question about being tested. Right now, we have opened a testing center over on Sally Mood Drive. And contrary to what you've been hearing, this site is only for testing by people who have been pre-approved by their doctor to go. This is not a site for public testing. So please don't go there saying, hey, I want to be tested. They're going to turn you away. You have to be pre-approved from your doctor. And the health department has been telling us that if you feel that you're sick, if you feel some of the symptoms that could be indicative of some respiratory issue that could possibly be coronavirus, they want you to call your doctor first. Don't just show up at the emergency room because you will overburden our hospital system. So we want you to do that as well. So um, that's where we are. And again, we'll come back as we need to try to share information as we have it. For us, we want you to be calm. We're going to be fine. We're going to be all right. We've been through some of these things. I know some of you have gone through personal challenges like this in your own life, but yet you're still here. And if we stick together, we work together, we pray together, we will make it even through this. So that being said, I'm gonna look and see if I can get a couple of questions. We'll see where we are. And for your families, this is a good time for you to get together. Some families don't spend time together. Spend some time with your family and start talking about a plan. Because for us, think about it. June 1st starts hurricane season. What's your plan? Do you have a plan? So this is a good time for you to start talking about plans and contingencies and what you're going to do if something happens. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to do the U.S. Census. As you know, census is April the 1st. And so I know you received them in the mail. It's a good chance for you to start filling those out. Good time for you. You can go to census.gov and go ahead and get that done as well. So here we go. So let's see. I'm looking to see where this is going. Hey, Linda, I love you too. Are there any places around Savannah taking donations by our elderly citizens? I will find out. If it's food, I would probably recommend the Second Harvest food bank. So thank you for that. Let's see. Don't wait for president. Again, shutting it down at this point does not serve us any purpose. The other thing, the city of Savannah, again, we're not turning off any water we're not interrupting any water service at this time, at least through the end of the month. We'll reevaluate and see where we are. So if you owe us money, you still owe us money. We're just not going to cut you off right now. If you we're not going to tow your car. You still owe us money, but we're not going to tow your car right now. And then we'll reevaluate it. I have not heard anything. I've heard people saying that that mortgages are forgiven or paused. I have not heard anything about that. I've heard that rents, people could not be evicted. I have not heard anything about that either. So if I hear it, we'll let you know as well. The question is, how many testing kits are available in Savannah? I do not have the slightest idea. That is the health department, and they would know best. Marissa, thank you so much. Maureen, thank you so much. My Uncle Greg, God bless you too, sir. City employees are not being allowed to work from home yet. Why? Some city employees are going to start working from home starting on Monday. Some employees can't work from home. Depends on what you do. Depends on what your proximity is, what your function is. All employees can't work from home. If you are working in certain functions, you need to be on site. Is there a curfew? No, there is not a curfew at this point. Will the governor suspend rents or mortgages? I do not know. Let me see. What about churches? Again, I'm asking churches to consider their parishioners. Consider suspending church or services on Sunday and finding other ways of doing that. Ziggy, good. I'm glad you visited your grandmama today. And Mr. Gardner, this is not the place for this. So please stop doing that. How can the city help in lost revenue for the businesses? The city can't help at all. However, the Small Business Association, the Small Business Assistance Corporation, has loans to help businesses that have dealt with issues of lost revenue. I will post that for you. Let's see what else. Young, thank you so much. Keep praying for me. I appreciate that. Um, Angela, there are no plans to close the airport. The airport is regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration, and the FAA said there are no plans to close any airports. I will tell you, a lot of people have asked about um, childcare, and they've asked about senior citizens' homes. And the city of Savannah does not regulate those businesses. They are regulated by the state of Georgia and licensing. So the decisions to mandate them to be closed or open rest on the state of Georgia. So I want to make sure you know that as well. Um, where is the county? I'm not sure for that yet. How do you plan not to shut down and contain the virus? Again, shut down, you can't shut down everything. We still have um, several hundred police officers, firefighters, people who treat water on the streets. You still have people moving back and forth from hospitals and other types of medical. We have the media and people out there that report the news. So there's no way we can completely shut anything down. And these people need to eat. And again, essential needs for you may not be essential needs for me. We have to find ways for people to get the things that they need. Can the city help with PPE work in the hospitals? Ms. Victoria, we cannot. We don't have PPEs for our folks. So no, we don't have anything. The hospitals would have to do that. Hey, Khadijah, good to see you. You suggest closing salons and nail spas. Um, well, at this point, we have not closed salons and nail spas, particularly because, and barbershops, because generally they work with a smaller group than 10. If the need comes, that might be our next step. Let's see. Can I provide relief for short-term vacate rental owners who are empty and unlike hotels have no corporate backup? No, ma'am. I don't know the way you can do that. Again, if you might qualify under the Small Business Assistance Corporation. So I don't know. The city does not have a way to help. When you think about it, the city gains sales tax revenue. So when these businesses are not open, the second largest way that we get money, we don't get anymore. So for us, we're running into a very dangerous situation in terms of how the city provides the services that we provide. Will I be banning short-term rentals in the historic district and other areas? Not at this time. Great, good to see you. Thank you so much. What about daycare facilities? Again, that's regulated by the state. Chantel, there is no curfew. Would it be relief for independent contractors? Again, the Small Business Assistance Corporation. Your apartment has no, I can't see it. Wait a minute. I don't see it. If you don't have a family personal doctor, where can someone go if they have symptoms? Then I might consider maybe an urgent care if you don't have a personal doctor or somewhere like that. Again, yeah, so I'm only talking about the city of Savannah. I can't talk about any of the other municipalities in the city of Savannah. We're only talking about Savannah. We have to stay in our lane. So yes, I don't have, let's see. Hey Stacy, no flights for me for a minute now. Miss Mendoza, I have not seen it. Um, I think you can run your AC. A good question. What about the homeless? Well, last week I met with the Homeless Authority um, and other homeless serving agencies because I wanted to know what the plan was. We have some agencies that do great work. My concern is that I wanted to see a collaborative, comprehensive plan for them to work together to make sure that people do not fall through the cracks during this time. We know that during these types of times, some people are vulnerable, and people who were vulnerable before are even more vulnerable. So I've expected them quickly to come up with a comprehensive plan to be able to address issues related to homelessness, not only sheltering, but food and things as well. also for hand washing and for sanitization as well. Ms. Bryant, I cannot make it mandatory that you can't go to work. Ms. Brenda, thank you so much. Let's see. Ms. Karen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. People in jail with minor charges, that is up to the sheriff and up to the court, whatever minor charges are. Hotels, some are open, some are closed. Restaurants, dine-in can shut down because there's more risk for the workers and revenue coming in. Well, what we've had is most restaurants, a lot of restaurants are just going to take out only. Thank you. Miss Emily, no, I cannot close daycares. Let me see, I can't close daycares. Hakeem, yeah, I don't have anything to do with the jail. Lori, always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you for your prayers. Again, hotels, again, the occupancy in the hotels in Savannah have gone real low, like they've gone across the country. So again, there are less people in hotels and they're starting to lay people off. Would it be mandatory that an office with 100 plus present employees be closed? Not at this time. Again, this is why it's so important for us to have some state direction. If the state or the federal government tells us what to do, it makes us makes it easy for us to be able to deal with some of those things. Ms. Moxley, thank you as well. Companies like Gulfstream, we don't regulate. Yeah, and I want to say this as well. The tax, yes, the tax day is moved to July. That is correct. So it was April 15th. It's now sometime, I think it's July 15th now. And again, for us, it's a time really to start talking about how we live our lives. I mean, many of us, unfortunately, we live for today. And so, these days happen. And so, we really need to start talking about plans and how you prepare for when bad times come. Ms. Rochelle, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, is the city factoring in the loss of revenue? Yeah. Well, we're trying to factor in. The problem is we don't know what the extent is. So again, we know that this will be devastating to us, the loss of revenue, the loss of SPLOS revenue for our last year of SPLOS 6. So yes, we're working on trying to figure out what does this actually mean. Julianne, thank you for your prayers. Restaurants take out only. That will probably be the next step. When will the general public get to test themselves? I do not know. That you have to call the health department, and I'm sure that they'll have that schedule. Again, part of the issue of not having a coordinated federal response is we don't know where the tests are. Miss Lily, thank you very much. Dion, thank you very much. Lady, thank you very much. Natalie, thank you very much. Again, K Nail Salons soon. John, we cannot, in the city, cannot stop evictions for 60 days. That is not a city function. It could be a county function of the magistrate court, and I'm not sure whether they can do it themselves or whether the state would have to do it. Ms. Bryant, I'm sorry, Sprint will remain open and you need to go to work tomorrow. Sorry, go to work tomorrow and sell some phones. Sean, thank you very much. Tisha, thank you very much. Vanessa, thank you very much. Let's see. Darlene says the Salvation Army takes donations, and Savannah Mission under the bridge, a lot of homeless dwellings. Joanne, why I didn't close all bars tonight? Because we wanted to be sensitive to the fact that bars, this is how to make a livelihood. And so I wanted to just give them a little time to softly land and choose how they land. Many bars are already closed, and some are operating on short hours tonight. So again, We have to be considerate, and I don't want to just be heavy-handed and just shut stuff down. Again, these are people's livelihoods that we're talking about. Tyrone, good question about food trucks. We plan to um, uh, get food trucks activated in several places across the city. Again, a concern here is food availability. Um, what about parks? Lake Mare is not in the um, right now are open. We'll see how it goes further from here. Um, let's see. Awesome feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Slice. Appreciate it. Um, Victoria, part of my order is that bowling alley, skating rinks, arcades are closed effective 8 a.m. tomorrow. Miss Alexis, thank you so much. Miss Bailey, again, we are looking at delaying renewals of certificates. We are looking at doing that. And again, we're talking about fees and stuff as we go forward. Um, so I think it'll be safe for students to go back on April the 2nd. I hope so. I don't know. Um, create a service for Vermont citizens to deliver. That would be an entrepreneurial idea. I'm not sure it's the city's role. Our employees will be delivering meals to the seniors in their golden age centers. Um, let's see what else. Miss Caitlin, thank you very much. That's a good question. Is self quarantining good enough? I don't know. I mean, it's the best of what we can. Um, yes. Well, Michelle, if people have lost their jobs temporarily or permanently, the state has the Georgia Department of Labor in which you can file for unemployment assistance. I'm not sure how long it takes. And again, I think you can do it online though, so I'll post that. Thank you very much. Kim, good to see you. Michael, thank you so much. The gray area with bars, again, we're looking at that to serve a little food. Again, we'll see how it goes. If it looks like people are not complying, then we'll shut those down as well. Um, let's see. Willa, thank you. Darren, thank you. Nicole, thank you. Natalia, thank you very much. Um, Homestead exemptions, Ms. Francis, are a um, they're on they're on the county's side. All right, so I think that's it. Right now, we have no curfew at this time. Linda, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ms. Brittany, thank you so much. I appreciate you. No curfew. Salons are still open. Um, Ms. Maureen, thank you so much. Uh, Minister Pamela, thank you so much. Um, Ms. Leslie, thank you so much. Uh, Sandeep Man, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And Chazito's Cuisine said their food trucks are ready to support. As always, they all have great food, so check them out as well. Um, if you like the idea of using food trucks, yes, well, it will be for to help with food availability. Julie, take care over there in Beaufort. Um, and we know there may not be a whole lot of hand sanitizer, but soap still works. Soap still works. Um, oh, yeah, Ms. Smith, the city of Savannah is we're delivering food to elderly clients in our golden age centers. We've closed out our community centers, so we're making sure to get that to our seniors, make sure they have the food they need. Um, so am I recommending that people shelter in place? I'm recommending if you don't have to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I've been in City Hall all week because I had to. If I didn't have to, I would have been at home. I'm asking you if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. Stay home. Um, again, these are very difficult times. These are very challenging times for all of us. We still don't know everything there is to know. We have our first case in Chatham County. There are going to be more. Um, they don't have a name, or they don't have a gender. They don't have an age. They don't have a race. And you could have it in your house right now. And so the goal of this is to be able to not only isolate it, but to be able to identify it. And that's what we have to be able to do. Isolate it, identify, and then inform people to find out how. And that gives our scientists reason to figure out why it spreads and how it spreads. So, I ask you to keep us in your prayers. Again, these are um, times that we did not expect January 1st when we started the new year, the new decade that we will have. But yeah, this is where we find ourselves. What we do now as a community will define us for history. What you do now personally, professionally, for your family will define you from here on out. And I'm saying to you, as your mayor, as your friend, that if you don't have anywhere to go, stay home. Stay home. Go to the store, get the things you need to get. Come on back home. The safest place for you right now is home. Home. If you don't feel well, don't go out the house. Call your doctor and get checked out. Please keep in your prayers the members of the Savannah Fire Department, Savannah Police Department, folks in our water department, our sanitation professionals, people who still have to work, our healthcare workers that are working in our hospitals. They're scared too. They have families too. And they don't know that every patient they might be dealing with might be someone that has this virus. So, keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and the uncertainty that they're going through. This is serious, and we have to be able to be prepared for the long haul, whatever that means. If you don't believe me, look at California, look at New York, look at countries, and look at what they're dealing with. Um, we have to look at different ways of doing things, and we have to find ways to look after each other and be each other's keeper. So I've committed that we'll be as transparent as we possibly can. Um, I know that I am extremely concerned and think about you and receive inquiries from you. I know members of our council who are dedicated public servants, care about you. They're fielding your calls and your things. Again, understand we're all human. We're not perfect. We don't know everything, and we're just doing the best we can. What we got. The information, and we'll post it again for you. And I'll post a series of links. Do me a favor and share them. Do me a favor and like my page, Mayor Dan Johnson. Like my page. Like the city's page to get information. Um, when we push information out, do me a favor and share it, and let's get it out. And again, I'll post a series of things to make sure that you get the information that you need during this time. If you have questions, Monday through Friday, just call 311 if you live in the city of Savannah. If you have a question that deals with the state, then go ahead and call the state. Again, we'll do the best to keep you informed. But what we're not going to do is let fear and panic dictate how we respond to this narrative. We're not going to do it, and you're not going to do it because we're not going to let fear and panic win. We're just not going to do it. Um, we're going to get through it together, and we will be in a place one day where we'll sit around and talk about. Do you remember back when we had that pandemic? And it's a story that we'll talk about with our children, our grandchildren, and we'll be able to tell them how we made it over and tell us how scared we were and what we had to do, how all of a sudden tuna and spam and Vienna sausage. Hot Pockets became hot again. Well, that's what I'm eating around right now. So, um, and cereal. Well, again, I'm not dying. We'll get to this. We'll be fine. Keep us in your prayers. May God bless our world. May God bless our country. May God bless our state. May God bless our county. May God bless the city of Savannah. And may God bless you. Good night.